Hello everyone! In this video we're going to draw a female mallard duck. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the middle section of the body. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a lid, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. On the left side of the circle, make a small mark for the front part of the body. Connect the small mark to the circle using curved lines to create the guide for the front part of the body. This guide should be similar to an arc on its side. Pay attention to the size of this arc in relation to the circle. To the right of the circle, draw a bigger arc the same way as the guide for the back portion of the body. Start by drawing a small mark to indicate the length of the guide, and then connect the small mark to the circle using curved lines to finish the shape of the arc. Above the body on the left side, draw a small circle as a guide for the head. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. First, make 4 small marks to indicate the sides of the circle, and then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Pay attention to how small this circle is in relation to the body. Inside the head, draw 2 intersecting lines. These are construction guides that will help you place the facial features later on. On the left side of the head, draw a long thin arc as a guide for the bill. Make the tip of the bill thinner than the base. The bill should slope down to the bottom left side. Connect the head to the body using curved lines to create the guide for the neck. Pay attention to how these lines curve. Make the bottom part of the neck wide. Under the body, draw an angled line as a guide for the leg and foot. This line should be similar to a backward letter L. On the right side of the body, draw a small curved line as a guide for the tail. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Use the construction lines as guides to help you position the eye inside the head. When you get the size and position of the eye right, darken the shape. Make the sides of the shape pointier for the corners of the eye. Inside the eye, off to the side, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. In the middle of the eye, draw a small circle and shade it in for the pupil. Now shade the rest of the eye using a value that's lighter than the pupil. Don't overlap the highlight circle as you shade. Use the arc on the left as a guide to draw the bill. Make the top part of the shape more curved as you darken the line. Draw a curved line inside the shape for the mouth. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Draw a couple of curved lines on the right side for the base of the bill. Use short strokes for a feathery texture. Draw a couple of lines under the mouth for the bottom part of the bill. Follow the path of the guide as you draw these lines. Draw a short line above the mouth for a wrinkle on the bill. Near the top of the bill, draw a small oval for the nostril. Add a small line below the nostril for a crease. Use the other shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the head. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the rest of the head. Draw a line above the bill to make the shape of the head wider. The top of the head should be made up of one long continuous line. Lightly sketch a long curved shape inside the body as a guide for the folded wing. Draw the tip of the wing outside of the body. When you get the shape of the wing right, darken the lines. The left side of the wing should be wide and the right side should be thin and pointy. Draw small curved lines as you darken the edges of the shape to create individual feathers. Draw a few smaller curved lines along the bottom edge of the wing for smaller feathers. Inside the wing, draw a series of curved lines to create more feathers. Each feather should be similar to an arc on its side. Make the feathers different sizes. Use the line that's under the body as a guide to draw the foot. First, lightly sketch the shape of the foot around the guideline. Make the bottom tip of the shape pointy to create a toe. Above that, draw a few more short lines for the other two toes. When you get the shape of the foot right, darken the lines. Add a few short strokes at the top for the feathery base of the leg. Draw the edges of the foot close to the guideline so that the overall shape is thin. Make the tips of the toes pointy. Draw a couple of short curved lines between the toes to create the webbing. Draw a small shape on the right side for the backward pointing toe. Above that, draw the other foot the same way. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shapes right. Draw 3 thin pointy toes. A big part of this foot will be hidden behind the first foot. Draw a couple of short curved lines between the toes to create the webbing. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Don't overlap the shape of the foot that's on this side as you draw the underside of the body. Make the bottom right side of the body slightly thinner than the initial guideline. On the right side, draw a small arc-like shape to make the tail longer. Draw a series of small curved lines on the tail for individual feathers. Don't make the tail too long. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. Don't worry about erasing all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Draw a speckled pattern on the head and body using a medium value. Draw more individual feathers on the wing and shade them in. Leave the tip of each feather blank. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. Use curved lines to draw individual feathers. Make the feathers smaller the farther away they are from the wing. Draw the speckled pattern on the body using short strokes. Don't overthink the speckled pattern, just draw short strokes all over the body. As you add the pattern, use strokes that go in the direction of the feathers. Shade the bill using a smoother value. Add more value on the underside of the shapes to create shadows. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. It's a good idea to use reference as you shade for a more accurate depiction of a female mallard. Draw a shadow at the bottom using a medium value. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the duck. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.